Hey y'all, Kentucky Farmer here, and welcome back to the second episode in this Pleasant Valley 17 version 2 tutorial series. In this tutorial, I want to show you how to use this kind of like refill station, basically. So each one of the farms on the map has one of these refill stations, and it's got a fuel section, which is right here. So this is where you can refill a tractor. And on the back side over here, as it says, here to unload the fuel into storage. So this is where you would dump your tanker of fuel. And there might be other ones that this will work with, but we found that the Coat Universal pack has this shell tanker. It works really well. Pull it right up here. You can unload into that station, and then you can use the other side to refill your tractors as you need it. And then over here, there's actually two triggers on this side. This first one here is going to be seeds, and it's really, right about here. And this is where you can refill the seeds in your planter and change your seed type. So one thing that's unique about this map is you cannot change your seed type anywhere other than right here. So once you're out in the field, you can't change it. So you got to bring it back here, unload the seed, change the type, and then reload it. And then over here is where you can refill the fertilizer. And this refill trigger here will handle both solid and liquid fertilizer. Then over here on this side, it says here to unload seed and fertilizer in the storage. And it should be into the storage, but this is where you would come with large quantities, trailers full of seed and fertilizer, and you would dump it here to fill up the station. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is grab the shell tanker, and we'll take it over here and refill the fuel. And one thing to keep in mind if you're using this particular tanker, you see how that pipe on the back kind of like comes out and then points out here to the right? That needs to point at the whatever you're refilling, right? So that means that for this building, we have to come around like this so that that's pointing those tanks. If you come at it from the other direction, you won't really be able to refill it. So we just come up here. If you check the help menu, see there we can start tipping. So I'll press that key, which will allow us to start dumping fuel into there. And that's going to take a little while, so we're just going to let it sit here and refill that. And then the next thing that we can fill up here, let's fill up our liquid fertilizer. Oh, seeds. All right, let's fill up our seeds. So we should be able to bring this. So this side over here is for the cedar. This side over here is for unloading, bulk quantities into storage. So we'll back this right up into here. See, we get a tip trigger. So I can go ahead and unload it. And now we've got seeds in our storage facility. So I'll move this truck over here. And then I'm going to grab the next truck. I think our fuel tanker's still unloading. Yes, it is. Alright. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is unload this liquid fertilizer into the storage facility. And once again, this far side over here is where we're going to unload it. And we've got that pipe that kind of faces right, so we're going to pull through this way. And once we get over here, see we get a little tip trigger, and we can unload that. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is unload this fertilizer. So for that, I'm going to pull over here and come around here, and then I should be able to kind of just back up right here. There we go, and we'll unload that. Alright, so our fuel tanker has finished emptying. We can pull this out of here. And it looks like our semi has finished unloading the fertilizer. So that's all in the facility now. One thing I wanted to show you is that if we open up the slash menu here, you can see we've got our warehouse selected for Wright Farm. And we can now see that our fertilizer is at 47,000 liters, our liquid fertilizer is 150,000 liters, and our fuel is 100,000 liters. And our seeds 47,000 liters. So your storage of what's in that building will show up here in your normal slash menu. The other interesting thing about the slash menu is that you can come over here to like seeds, and you can actually load to pallet. And so you see I clicked that, and you see it made a pallet of seeds right here. So it's a little odd because it's like inside the building and you can't get to it, but you could probably snag that with an auto-loading trailer. Let's see if we can make a couple more pallets here. So let's do one of fertilizer. And let's do a couple more seed pallets. Alright, so we've got our 2 seed pallets, we've got our 2 fertilizer pallets. So you see the fertilizer pallets are actually out here where you could pick them up. Those seed pallets are kind of like in jail over there. Let me grab my auto-loading trailer and see if I can get close enough to actually snag those. Then we'll come over here, see if we can get close enough to grab one. No, I cannot. So I can get close enough to grab the fertilizer, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to grab the seed out of there. So that's likely a bug, and will hopefully get addressed in a future update of the map. So just know that if you try and spawn a pallet, it may not work out well for you. Let's see if we can spawn a pallet of liquid fertilizer. I mean, they are something that can be palletized. Oh yeah, so those are over there. That's cool. Can't spawn a pallet of fuel, which that makes sense. So yeah, I was able to grab those. So the next thing I want to show you is how to actually use this to refill a cedar and change the seed type. So we'll come over here, and so remember this side is what's used for seed. So I can when I press my left bumper to change the seed type like I normally would with Y, I get the unload option. So I can unload, and you notice my seed goes down, so now I have nothing. And now that it's empty, I can actually select what I want. So I can change it to corn, for example. And the other thing that I've kind of noticed with this is you can't refill it right away. You actually have to like leave the trigger. So what I do is I come forward here, and then do like a loop. If you leave the trigger area and then kind of come back into it, then it should let me, there you go, refill sower. So now I've got the seed, and we'll pull forward a little bit here, and we can refill the fertilizer. Alright, so now we're full on seed and fertilizer, and then I can come around to this side, and you pull right up to this little fuel pump here. And now I can refill the fuel in my tractor. Alright, so there you go. That is how you use the seed and fertilizer and fuel refill facility here in Pleasant Valley version 2. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, would you please give it a thumbs up? That helps a lot. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more farming simulator videos. I'm Kentucky Farmer. Thanks for watching.